All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to unpack a really dense, almost philosophical story. It's all about transformation, but not the gentle kind. We're talking about completely shattering your comfortable reality to forge an entirely new self from the ground up. So, this is where our story kicks off. The text calls this place the Liturgy of Error, which sounds kind of epic, right? But look at this description: a suffocating architecture of stagnant light. I mean, wow, this is not a place of freedom. It's a prison, a beautiful, gilded cage where every single star is just another bar holding something primal captive. So, what's being held captive? Well, that's our main character, if you can call it that, the Shadow Beast. And it's totally trapped, stuck in a destiny it never asked for, in a state of, quote, shivering subservience. So, the source material has a name for this state: a passive spirit. And I think the best way to wrap your head around this is to imagine being an actor, right? But you're forced into a role you absolutely hate, in a play you never even auditioned for. You're just a false image, a placeholder, basically living someone else's script. And this slide just nails the central problem here. You've got this pull between two extremes. On one side, you have the universal image, the easy route, this horizontal comfort of just fitting in. It's safe, it's mediocre. But on the other side, you have this deep, burning need to find the center of itself. That's the vertical climb. It's hard, it's dangerous, but it's the only path to becoming who you're really supposed to be. So here's the kicker, and you really got to get this. A gentle evolution wasn't an option. No way. The only path to freedom was through a violent break. The beast literally had to shatter its entire reality, this great wall of glass, just to let out the true potential, this becoming that was locked up inside. Okay, so you can't just shatter reality on a whim, right? Something has to trigger it. You need a catalyst. And well, in this story, that catalyst shows up, and it is absolutely terrifying. Enter the Crimson Judge. And just look at what he's carrying, a gavel scythe. I mean, come on, that tells you everything. This guy isn't here to talk things over. He's here to force the issue, to pass judgment. But don't just think of him as a bad guy. He's more a force of nature. The text calls him an active nihilist given flesh. His entire job is to tear down your cozy little illusions. He's here to show the beast that those things it thought were protecting it, they were actually its prison bars. He forces a confrontation with absolute nothingness because, well, you can't build something new until you've cleared the ground completely. Okay, so the trial itself is just wild. The judge throws the beast into something called a liquid mirror. And in that mirror, it sees a reflection of itself, but a version that's more beautiful and more dangerous. Think about that. You're not fighting some external monster. You're fighting the ultimate, perfected, and absolutely lethal version of yourself. And this is it, the moment of truth, the twilight verdict. The choice is simple, and it's brutal. Do you let this perfect version of you destroy you and just fade back into that comfortable prison you came from? Or do you risk everything to overcome it, to become it, and achieve a new kind of godhood? Annihilation or apotheosis, that's the choice. All right, so the choice is made, apoptosis. And that brings us to the next stage, the wizard's metamorphosis. The beast is about to go through an agonizing transformation. And I don't mean just changing. I mean being completely torn apart and rebuilt from scratch, literally forged anew from the ashes of its old self. And this process happens in three, really distinct steps. First up is dissolution. This is the painful part, the total teardown of the old self. It's described as enduring a sonic screech that just dissolves your old fake destiny. Then comes recreation. This is where the being becomes something called the error that corrects the truth. Basically, it gets to rewrite the very rules of reality that used to hold it down. And finally, you get mastery. This is where it learns to control the frequency of the uncanny and can literally weaponize reality itself. Wild stuff. And when I say this transformation is total, I mean it's total. The text talks about blood magic being used to sever every single tie to its old life. Its entire being is rewritten down to its very molecules, until its blood is transmuted into stars and its flesh into lightning. There is literally nothing of the old beast left. So what's the new operating system for this being? It's simple. The past, gone. Objective truth, irrelevant. The only thing that is real now is its own will. And that will is so powerful, it defines what reality is from one moment to the next. And that brings us to the final form, the architect of the ruin,
The metamorphosis is complete. The shadow beast is a distant memory. Now we have the Tachyon Wizard. And this being hasn't just been transformed, it's ascended. It's now the master builder of its own universe.
The source actually makes a direct link here to the whole philosophical idea of the Übermensch, the overman. This is a being that has completely overcome the old, safe values of the last man. Remember that horizontal comfort we talked about? All of that is gone. Now it creates its own meaning, its own values, with a power so intense it's described as a gravity-shifting fire. This slide is a fantastic way to visualize where this new being exists. It's like walking a tightrope, perfectly balanced. On one side, you've got the black wing of nihilism. That's the acceptance that, hey, the old rules are gone, there's nothing there. But on the other side, you have the white wing of the overman, which is the raw power to create brand new meaning out of that nothingness, just by the force of your own will. So yeah, this being is now completely sovereign. It answers to no one. It's got the mark of the abyss on its forehead, meaning it prefers the harsh truth of the void to the easy comfort of the sun. Its past isn't a record anymore. It's a prophecy of what it's going to do. It is, and I love this line, a period at the end of a sentence the old gods were too cowardly to finish. And that brings us all the way back around to that trial in the mirror. Because the ultimate lesson here is that the mirror, that reflection, it wasn't an obstacle. It wasn't a wall you had to break through. It was a window. It was the gateway into this absolute and, yeah, terrifying, but total freedom. So at the end of the day, this whole cosmic myth, this journey from a caged beast to a star-forging knight, it's all one giant metaphor, isn't it? And it leaves us with a pretty pointed question to ask ourselves. So I'll leave you with this. What's your great wall of glass? What comfortable prison in your life is just waiting to be shattered?